Hello family, I hope anyone who likes my videos to support me by subscribing to my channel and please give me the energy to make more effort into videos. Thank you for your support family, and let's start our movie recap. At the start of our movie, a lady is running for her life as a strange figure taps metal bars in a dark hallway using a bloody object. A bleeding hand immediately strikes the glass door panel as she enters a room to flee. 5 children board the school bus 3 hours earlier on their way to detention. Barrett, who is snapping a picture as Kevin discreetly decorates his Bible, receives a grin from Lexi. Jessica is at the front, listening to her music. The bus's driver, Officer Pete, casts a quick glimpse at the monument he built for his daughter before becoming preoccupied by Taylor skating across the vehicle. The pupils are greeted by Miss Presley, the principal, when the school bus arrives at an abandoned jail. While she prepares, she gives Pete the order to take them to the holding area. Pete refuses Lexi's provocative request to have her handcuffed and instead indicates for her to follow the others. Presley groans at the filthy office she is made to use as Pete leads them to the detention room. Before placing her belongings, she assembles her desk and cleans it. She finishes by showing off and cleaning her Best Principal award. Kevin also sanitizes his table at the same time. Lexi suddenly sits down next to him and inquires about his backstory. She looks at his Bible, which Kevin says he painted himself, when he doesn't respond. Jessica unlocks the door for Presley as she notices her holding a package. The school's principal greets them and informs them that SAT detention is necessary because of a rabid possum epidemic. As a result, the district office gave New Way Prison a detention assignment. She emphasizes that they must remain silent and must not get up from their chairs without her permission. The pupils are also instructed to submit an essay on themselves in order to assist troubled teenagers in the wake of the passing of their classmate, Jenny Duke. Lexi has the lady remove her phone from her chest after Presley takes their phones away. Presley throws Barrett a piece of candy and steals his phone despite his request to retain it since it monitors his blood sugar levels. Only Jessica and Kevin continue to concentrate on their essay once the principal has left. Since Taylor never speaks, Lexi assumes that she is deaf and shouts to her ear to find out. The deaf cannot hear her, Jessica reminds her. In her workplace, Presley reads an adult book before suspiciously checking Barrett's phone and looking through his selfies. While this is going on, Lexi asks Barrett what he is drawing. Barrett shows Jessica the poster he's making in place of her. Barrett is not permitted to speak to Jessica, according to Lexi's joke that she is his envious girlfriend. Jessica is jokingly reassured by Lexi that she needn't be concerned even if Barrett has noticed what she has to offer. Jessica is instructed by Barrett to ignore Lexi since she only wants to be seen. The artwork is then taken by Lexi, who claims it is an advertisement for a party where alcohol would be served. She inquires as to the hobbies of school spirit types like Jessica while making the suggestion that Jessica presumably abstains from alcohol due to her Olympic preparation. Barrett tells Lexi that her mouth is lovely when it is closed, but she implies that it can do wonderful things when it is open since he is sick of her snide remarks. Back to Taylor, who is dozing. Lexi turns. Lexi keeps making fun of Taylor despite Jessica and Barrett's urging to leave her alone. But just as Lexi goes to retrieve her sunglasses, Taylor snatches her hand. When Presley hears the disturbance, she stops perusing Barrett's selfies and gets up, but she bumps her knee on the table as she does so. When the principal enters the room, Taylor and Lexi stop fighting. Presley doesn't believe Lexi when she says she's stretching, so she gets another SAT detention. If there is any further disruption, she threatens everyone with another imprisonment. Jessica yells at Lexi as she walks away for including them in her problems. The principal's trophy and money are among the items that Lexi steals from Presley's office in order to have more fun. She comes back to the jail area while brandishing the prize. Lexi abruptly passes the award to Jessica when she notices Presley coming back, making Jessica hide it. Presley confronts the kids after sensing something strange, but nobody comes clean. Unpersuaded, Presley directs her wrath onto Lexi, threatening to bring her outside and remove her body piercings. Lexi appears to calm down as a result, but happily, Presley departs to take a call. Later, Presley's screams awaken the students. Barrett asks Kevin to unlock the door when she beats on it from the closed corridor, but Kevin is too afraid. Presley finally bangs her bloodied palm on the glass panel and screams in despair. Although everyone jumps into action, they are unable to unlock the door. Jessica implores the others to assist in saving Presley as blood leaks from behind the door. Lexi, though, is adamant about keeping them safe from the threat. Jessica confronts Lexi and picks a confrontation with her because she is tired of her selfishness. When Taylor shouts at them and makes it clear that she can talk, their altercation is ended. Even when Kevin checks the payphone where she is trying to call, the line is dead. Jessica is adamant about getting out, but as she approaches the door, it slams shut. A voice echoes out of the speakers abruptly. Taylor clings to Kevin, convinced it's a ghost, while Jessica thinks it's just a nuthead. Presley is the new principal, the voice maintains when Lexi asks what it wants and where it is. The doors suddenly open. The students decide that leaving is their only choice, but not before Lexi takes the award with her. They discover a bloody trail outside the hallway rather than Presley. Although Kevin protests, they are forced to continue on the route as the opposite side abruptly shuts. Although Lexi holds the trophy and reassures Barrett that she has everything covered, Barrett raises the possibility that the killer may be luring them into a trap. They enter Presley's office after following the bloody trail, but their mobile phones are no longer in the box. Taylor claims that Block 7 is haunted as the gang travels along it. Taylor maintains that one prisoner was left behind in solitary confinement when they closed the jail, and the spirit still haunts the location, despite Kevin's attempts to soothe the others with a Bible scripture. Jessica acknowledges that it's plausible, but Lexi is certain that Presley is playing a practical joke on them to make them stress out. They proceed along a dim corridor, but all of the doors are locked. One door unexpectedly opens, allowing them to cautiously enter. They proceed into the jail kitchen even though they believe it to be a setup. The voice from the speakers taunts them about making it through the lethal incarceration. When Lexi challenges the individual to come out, there is silence. The principal is then assured by Jessica that she will be excellent before she concedes. They still receive no response. When Kevin opens a big pot and the others start exploring the area, Taylor jumps out and frightens him. Lexi enters the walk-in freezer in the meanwhile while wielding the prize like a sword. She sees Presley's body in the shadow of a curtain and screams. While setting the corpse down and feeling for a pulse, Jessica and Taylor grab it. Taylor instructs Kevin and Barrett to check their own pulses when they begin fighting over how to do it effectively. The lads decline politely. The voice abruptly orders them to get away from the body, but Kevin is adamant about saying a few things for Presley. Everyone comes to Lexi and begs her to go since she was the one who knew the principal the best. Lexi acknowledges that she despises the principal and has had death fantasies in her spontaneous eulogy. Lexi apologizes to Presley because she finds it repulsive now that it's a reality. Lexi places the trophy next to the body as everyone departs in order to prevent being plagued by Presley's spirit. They hear another door opening as they reassemble in the kitchen. Barrett moves to a different door since he believes it to be a trap. Barrett begins to scream when he touches the knob, alarming the females, but he laughs, which enraged Jessica and Lexi. In retaliation, Jessica strikes him in the stomach. Barrett tries the door once more after becoming enraged by their response. This time, he begins to tremble subtly, up until the knob starts to ignite. The others ignore him. Jessica and Taylor hurry to assist, but Kevin cautions them not to touch him since they may also be electrocuted. Instead, Kevin pushes Barrett away from the door using the garbage can next to him. Lexi offers kissing Barrett after Jessica is unable to wake him up, but Kevin counters that happens in fairy tales. Jessica advises Lexi to kiss Barrett instead since she believes Barrett might kiss back out of instinct. Lexi seizes the chance to kiss Barrett and set the atmosphere. Barrett soon begins to groan and awakens. When he praises her for bringing him back to life, Lexi teases that it was her pleasure. As she breaks them apart impatiently, Jessica reminds them of their predicament. Taylor reprimands Lexi for mocking the ghost as she pushes their captor to reveal themselves. It takes Jessica going between Lexi and Barrett to prevent distractions to gather everyone for a huddle after the pupils argue about whether it is a ghost or not. Jessica exhorts them to concentrate on fleeing. Jessica emphasizes that they must maintain their sights on the goal, as if she were the coach of a sports team. She attempts to break the meeting with a team hand stack, but everyone exits. Jessica urges them to get a weapon anyhow so they can defend themselves before guiding them to the next chamber. Lexi wonders why Kevin was thrown in detention given that he doesn't seem to be breaking any rules as they slowly make their way away with their backs to the wall. When the glitter spray paint was discovered in his locker, he claims he was accused of spray painting a picture of Jesus on the school gym. Although it wasn't the brand Kevin prefers, Barrett reveals that the school discovered a vodka bottle in his locker despite Kevin's insistence that he didn't do it, insisting that she didn't do anything. Jessica says that she was accused of damaging the volleyball net. Taylor then admits that she struck someone when they made fun of her, but she is adamant that she was not wrongly accused. They hear a sound from above as they enter a dark tunnel. They see someone coming down from above when they turn to look. The student flees into an open room as the figure descends to block their entrance. Jessica tries to conceal the gas, but they discover it is coming from the opposite door and filling the room. As the room fills with smoke, Lexi scales the ceiling, and the others follow. Taylor's sneaker becomes trapped as she climbs the ceiling pipes. When a spike pierces the ceiling, she yanks her shoe from the pipes. Surprised, Barrett loses his balance and knocks Lexi down with him. When Kevin stumbles as well, Jessica catches him, but because to his excessive weight, Jessica also stumbles. Taylor is unable to move from her position as the spike inches closer to her. A little while later, Lexi and Barrett find themselves in the jail cafeteria while Kevin and Jessica awaken in a cell hallway. Kevin has hurt his ankle as Jessica and Kevin stand up. The two run away as they hear approaching footsteps and the clinking of metal. In the meanwhile, Barrett makes a hidden flask public. Quickly accepting it, Lexi gives him a drink. Barrett inquires about her final request as she begins to consider dying. Lexi desires to be completely inebriated when she passes away. When the two are left alone, they stare into one another's eyes and Barrett once again inquires about her wishes. When Lexi expresses a desire for happiness, Barrett only nods in agreement. She inquires as to what, given his abundance, makes him miserable. Due to his wealth and good looks, Barrett consents and Lexi begins kissing him. While Kevin and Jessica continue to flee for their lives, the two engage in sexual activity. When they eventually arrive in an office space, Jessica kicks open the door to the visiting room but discovers that the one beyond it is still shut. Barrett observes Lexi's jewelry after they had gotten close, but she urges him not to worry about it. Jessica paces, trying to hide her fear lest it make her flimsy. She punches the wall in anger because she feels responsible for bringing them to a dead end, breaking her knuckles in the process. Jessica advises Kevin to disregard Jessica's wound since they are about to die as he consoles her. Kevin isn't giving up though, and he encourages her to express her feelings. Jessica sobs and says she can't die since she hasn't made her father proud yet. Kevin points out that she already has medals and trophies, so she doesn't need to demonstrate that she is the greatest. Jessica gives Kevin a hug of gratitude since this makes her feel better. Soon after, the murderer enters the visiting room but discovers it to be vacant. Kevin and Jessica jump from the corner table where they were hiding when he leaves and make their getaway. Kevin attempts to run, but his ankle still won't let him, so he must hide. When Jessica realizes he isn't pursuing her, she goes back in his direction. She looks around for him, but can't find him. Kevin is stumbling down another corridor when he feels the murderer approaching from behind. He pauses, musters up the courage to turn around. Jessica eventually comes across Barrett and Lexi, but she pauses when she sees that Barrett has been kissed all over his face by Lexi. The voice from the speakers instructs them to go back to the holding area before she has a chance to reprimand them. When they bump uglies while they are still in danger, Jessica chastises them and holds them responsible for Kevin's potential doom. Lexi emphasizes that her only goal is to pass away without any regrets. When Barrett remarks that there are no mirrors around, Jessica makes fun of his conceit. Barrett argues that everyone has their own interest, such as Jessica's involvement in sports, but when he calls Lexi out on her promiscuity, she strikes him. The two ladies leave after identifying a common foe, leaving Barrett alone herself. He checks himself out right away via a glass window and notices someone standing behind him. He fumbles an apology, thinking it's Jessica, but the figure slams his head into the glass. When the women return after hearing this, they discover Barrett dead with a severed face. The ladies take kitchen items to defend themselves in their quest to discover the murderer. The voice mocks them for being the survivors as they approach the place. They are silently walking down the corridor when a guy with a hood walks up to the guard station. The two cautiously peer inside and discover a shrine dedicated to Jenny Dukes. The hooded man soon leaves the post, and the women begin to beat him. Jessica tries to fight back but is unsuccessful as Lexi is knocked unconscious. The guy knocks Jessica to the ground, then grabs her and closes the cell doors while holding her. Although Jessica is fighting for her life, the jail door bangs into her head. The guy then drags Lexi into the guard station by her hair. Officer Pete is revealed as he takes off his hoodie. After expressing her dismay that the hall officer is the murderer, Lexi attempts to assault him with a fire extinguisher, but he quickly throws it away from her. Pete reprimands her for referring to him as a hall cop, pointing out how the kids ignore him despite the fact that he can see everything. He admits that he sneaked 50 possums into the school, falsely accused them of being in detention, and transported them all to a helpless state in a jail. He challenges her to scream into the microphone in order to demonstrate this, and when she does, he informs her that Jessica and the others have already died. Lexi finally cries out in panic, but she still refers to him as hall officer because she doesn't know his name. He makes the erroneous assumption that she is unaware that he is the father of Jenny, which prompts Lexi to discover this. Pete laments the loss of his daughter, who made him laugh and sang to him at night. As Pete reminisces about Jenny, Lexi's face fills with rage. In order to prevent bullying, he recalls telling Jenny not to mention that he is her father, but she still suffered abuse. However, Lexi argues that Jenny had friends and she never hurt her. Still, Pete is convinced that Jenny was bullied into killing herself. Lexi kicks the officer and tries to escape, but he catches her and strangles her until she shows him her necklace. Recognizing Jenny's photo from her locket, Pete backs away. Lexi reveals that Jenny was her best friend who always tried to cover her bruises. Jenny shared with her that her father had a temper problem, and Pete snaps at her for turning his daughter against him. Lexi argues that she can't do that because Jenny killed herself to escape her abusive father. Angered, Pete strangles Lexi again, forcing her to shut up. Suddenly, the principal's trophy appears behind him, and Presley slams it against his head. Lexi freaks out, thinking that Presley is a zombie. However, Presley convinces her that she's alive, stressing that she doesn't go down that easily. After convincing her that she's human, Presley gets Lexi back on her feet. Lexi asks what they'll do with Pete, and Presley decides to leave him there for someone else to pick up. On their way out, Presley recounts that she checked the other students' pulses and found that they're banged up but still alive. With danger out of the way, Lexi is back to mocking the principal's fashion sense while Presley threatens the flirty student with a trip to the ER. This is how our movie ends. Leave us a comment on how you found this movie recap. See you in the following movie recap.